Well, hello, good morning. It is Monday morning, February, let's see, this is after Valentine's Day, so I think actually it's February the 16th. It's approximately 7:43 or so in the morning. Just dropped my daughter off to Coppin State University, and I wanted to do this quick video because I had a conversation on yesterday via the web with a gentleman who's interested excuse me, in the business that I'm doing, and we were talking, and I brought up the subject about residual income, and he was really at a loss for what residual income was. And so it kind of really, caught me by surprise that, he didn't know what it was. And so I just wanted to do this video while I was on my way back home to talk a little bit about residual income. The system, as I always call it, is set up and designed for you to make linear income, or how you do work 40 hours or whatever and get a paycheck, work 80 hours and get a paycheck, but yet we pay residual bills, month after month. You pay your mortgage, you pay your utilities, you pay water bill, well, your utility phone, then you do the market, you got to get gas, all your little, things you do that just make you tick, you have to do month after month, and in some cases week after week or what have you. So I was explaining to him, and I've actually explained this concept before, and what I normally do when I explain it is to kind of use two of my favorite television sitcoms. Both of them are pretty old now and gone on, but they're still being played somewhere around the world. And I always tell people when I do talk about this, even in my presentations, that they need to stop making Gilligan money, or Gilligan income, and start making good times income, or good time income. And the reason why I say that is very simple. If you know the history of Good Times and actually Gilligan's Island, you know that Gilligan's Island was actually created back in, I believe, the late 50s, and I used to love that show. I mean, I would come in from outside playing sports and anything here at 5 o'clock p.m. back in the 70s or whatever, when it used to come on and watch it. But in any event, the show itself, the actors in the show, back then there was not such thing as syndication in television like there is now. So when those actors, made those episodes, they got paid for that episode that one time, and that was it. Just like when you're working your 9 to 5, you work 2 weeks, you get paid for those 2 weeks. Now if something great happens 3 or 4 weeks down the road, and it was something that you had done in those 2 weeks, in your job, and it came out positive, they don't give you, hey, here's something else for that little thing you did for us back, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. And that's kind of like how Gilligan, the story works. They got paid for that those shows that first time, and that was it. Now, the show is still played somewhere, I can guarantee you, in this world, in some language, even today. And there are still 3 of the actors that are still alive. The gentleman that played the professor, the young lady who played Marianne, and the young lady who played Ginger. However, CBS is the only entity out of that, that television show that is still getting paid. None of the actors are getting paid. That's why they're doing, they're writing books and doing their books. They're making, cookbooks and books about Gilligan, and, whatever else it is that they do, that's what they're doing to survive. Meanwhile, the show Good Times, which was another one of my favorite shows, it was in the 70s. It was about an African-American family, living in, I think, Cabrini Green. Well, it was in the Chicago projects. you know, trying to make it, trying to survive. Well, anyway, that show was created by Norman Lear, just like Gilligan was created by Mr. Schwartz. Now, with Good Times, here's the thing. Today, in my area, in the Maryland area, Good Times is shown at least 3 times a day. I'm almost certain, I think it's on TV One at least twice a day, and then it's also on another, I think Nickelodeon or Nick at Night or whatever it's called, at least once a day. So I know at least 3 times a day that show is played. Now here's the good part for them. Every time that show is aired, you know, here and abroad, and I know that show is international as well, those that we remember, Thelma, JJ, with Jimmy Walker, Bernadette Standish, the young lady that played Walona, even, you know, the guy that played Bookman, and the little brother, Michael Evans, and even Janet Jackson, because she was on there, you know, for a little bit as Penny. They still get checks, and that show was done back in the 70s. Those episodes were done back in the 70s. Even the young lady, Esther Roll, who played the mother on there, played Florida Evans. Now this is really, really powerful, because she's the only one of the actresses or actors of the show who has passed on thus far, and still her estate or something within her name, her control, still gets a check when that show is played. So I try to use those 2 television shows as examples of residual income and linear income. And in today's world, you know, with the economy and everything, you want to have residual income to help maintain your residual bills. Or you want to do something today, you know, and months down the road, you are still able to reap the benefits. You don't want to make Gilligan money where, you know, you're, now don't get me wrong, you definitely want to be grateful that you have a source of income. We're not saying that you don't want to be grateful for that, but you want to be able to have money coming in even when you're not working. You know, in other words, you want to be able to leverage yourself to be able to make income, you know, with the help of others, and also sharing others how to do the same thing to benefit themselves. So that's why I use the term Gilligan money and Good Times money, because again, Gilligan was a show that was on TV when TV was very young. There was no syndication, so those actors and actresses, they got paid the one time for the show, and yet those shows are still running today, and all they get out of it is maybe if they decide they want to sit and watch it being played on television. However, you know, Good Times was a show that was done in the 70s, syndication was in, you know, and they're still making checks. Another great example is, you know, somebody that's well known. Think about Will Smith. Will Smith is very high-powered actor in Hollywood, and you know, when he got started as a rapper. You know, you could take some of his old rap music that they play on the radio and stuff every once in a while. He's still getting paid for it. Take some of, you know, let's say Men in Black or Independence Day. Some of the movies that, you know, really got him to where he is in Hollywood today. When they play those movies in Hollywood, or you know, somebody rents it from a video store, or you know, if it's somewhere on TV and whatever, these guys, he's still getting checks. And that's the type of concept we got to have, guys, in our minds nowadays when it comes to financial freedom, financial independence, creating wealth. You want to have something that, you know, will continue to pay you, or you will continue to get a benefit long after the initial step is done. So with that, that's all I had that I wanted to say today. I hope, you know, if there's anyone out there that doesn't really understand residual income, I hope that, you know, that will help you or shed some light on it. I look forward to talking to a lot of you guys personally and perhaps answering other questions. So again, this is Mike Freeland coming to you. You guys have a great day.